Hello students, let's discuss the types of AI agents in this lecture. Different type of AI agents could be reflex agent with state, goal-based agents, utility-based agents, last is learning agents. Let's discuss all the type of agents one by one. First is reflex agents. These are the basic agents which would like to do something. Basic function would be like this, that they will sense the environment through the sensors. Let me take the highlighter pen. Yeah. So the basic thing is that they will sense the environment using the sensors, and they will check what the word is like now, what is everything that is going on in the environment. Then they will think something, they will do some processing, and then based on some condition action rules, let's say if the condition is like this, then take the action like this. Simple if else statements would be there. Based on those statements, if they will check the condition and then they will take some action. And so thus they decide that what actions should I do now, and they will take that action using the actuators and they will perform on the environment. So this is a simple terminology, simple structure of a reflex agent which senses the environment using sensors, input some conditional rules and behave according to that, then use actuators to perform something onto the environment. Then there are reflex agents with state. These agents are similar to the reflex agents, but the only thing is that they will also save their last state. And they will always compare their last state with the current to take the appropriate action. Let's say in this also, they will sense the environment using the sensors. They will see that what the word is like now. But they will also keep in mind their last state in the last actions they have taken. So they can check that how the word evolves, whether there is a change in the environment or the environment remains same. Okay? So based on that, they should decide what my action should do, whether they should be the same as the action I have taken for the last time, or should I change my action to make them more appropriate. And then again, they will also consider some conditional rules, and then they will decide that what action should be taken, and they will use actuators to take that action onto the environment. Hence, reflex agents with state will always check the last state, and they will check that last time what happens after my actions, how my actions should change or will remain same. So reflex agents with state will always have something called next state, which will depend upon the last state and the percept, the new percept from the environment. And thus the action will always also depends not only onto the rules, but it will also depend upon the last state analysis of the agent. Third one is the goal-based agent. As the name suggests, they are specific in their action based on some goals. They're not given some if-else statement, but they are given the goals, right? Let's start from here. First, they will sense the environment using the sensors and they will check what the word is like now. They will also keep the last state to check how the word is evolving, whether there is a change in the environment or is it the same, right? And what it will be like if I do this action, what will be the outcome? If I've taken this action for the last time, what was the outcome? Whether I can expect that same or will it change? And then lastly, it will decide the action based on not just if-else statement, but on the goals. So here, instead of given the if-else statements or if-else rules, we'll provide it with a goal. Let's say the goal of the agent is to cover the particular distance. So based on the goal, it will itself decide that what if and what else and what statement should be there so that I can reach my goal. So here we won't define if else, but we'll give it a goal which it has itself to define and decide that what should be. So these are a kind of superior kind of agents as compared to the reflex agents. Now, how can we incorporate goals? In incorporating the goals, the main thing is the rules and the foresight. Can we foresight the environment? Can we foresight the situation? Now, the agent rule set is determined by the goals because we are not giving the if-else statement, but the goals. agent will itself define the rules, but it requires the knowledge of future consequences given possible actions. So the agent should be intelligent enough to see that if I take that action, what would be the outcome? Whether I'll be close to my goal or it will take me far from my goal. So any agent can do this only if it has that foresight, it has that intelligence to decide whether my action will bring me closer to the goal or it will move me away from the goal. Okay? So it can also be viewed as an agent with more complex state management. Next is the utility-based agents. Now, utility-based agents is again a step higher than the goal level based. In the goal-based agents, they're given a goal and they have to fulfill. But in a utility-based agents, they are not only covering a goal, but they will also provide you some additional utility, which may or may not be essential, but it would be very helpful. Let's say I can design a robot or AI machine to welcome my guest. Right, so it's a utility-based agents. It has not a specific goal. It doesn't have to cover a distance or doesn't have to cover a goal of talking for 20 minutes, but it has a utility. That means it will welcome my guest, it will take the name, it will introduce them to the other guests and so on. So it's a kind of utility-based agent. Again, the working is a bit more complex than the goal-based agent because here the goal is not exactly defined. And the utility-based agents, the performance is very important to be analyzed. And it's not that straightforward as in the case of reflex and goal-based agent. So in these, again, the basic functionality will remain same. They will sense the environment through the sensors. Then they will check the last state, how the word is evolving, what were my last actions, and what the word, whether the word is like my action. Let's say if I'm welcoming robots, what kind of feedback I'm getting from the audience. If I'm welcoming them as hello, madam, what is their feedback, whether they smile at me, whether they make bad faces, whether they are happy to see me. So that kind of feedback should be there from my last state. And then I will decide what my action to do. How happy I'll be in such a state, whether I'm happy receiving their feedback, whether I'm happy receiving their smiles or the bad faces. So with all this, I'm keeping in mind the utility, I will decide, yes, that next action, what should I do? So these are nothing but similar to the human mind. They are thinking just like humans. How, like if I'm talking to a person, I will always keep in mind that how was my last meeting when I interacted with the same person? Was it pleasant? Was it bad experience on? And based upon that, I would like to plan my next meeting. The same is in the case of this kind of example where I have given an example of utility-based agent who is welcoming the guest. Last is the learning agents. Now, they are the most superior kind of agents because they are not just acting, but they are also learning from the environment, from the last behavior, and so on. Again, the two main components will be the same. The sensors will remain same to sense the environment, and the actuators will remain same to behave onto the, to take some action onto the environment. The very thing, which important thing which differentiates learning agent from the others is this part. That is the critic and feedback part. Whatever the agent is doing, the performance is measured. Then the critic will analyze. We will critically analyze the performance of the agent. And based on the feedback, how good it has done, whether it has done a good job, whether it has found some errors or something like that, based on that feedback, there's a learning element. We find out the error and we'll find out how we can improve, right? And based upon our learning goals, we'll check whether the particular agent has met the goals or not, or can we make some improvements. Then it will generate the solution and it will give to the performance element. That means there is some kind of performance element which we are going to analyze every time. So our learning element will change the performance element because the learning will help improving your performance. And then based upon the performance element, then it will decide and take the appropriate action using the actuators. So that is why learning agents are different from the other agents because of that special component of learning element and feedback. That's all for this lecture. In this lecture, we have covered all different types of AI agents. Thanks.